Bright futures. Who are we? Where did we come from? Why did we decide to set Bright Futures up? What's our vision? And what role do you play in that? I think it's, first of all, very important to say that we are working closely with all government agencies as outlined by Gavin St Pierre, and we're trying to support as best we can as a charitable organisation the efforts that government are making. But it is quite clear that government cannot do everything, nor should they be expected to do everything. And that's where the role of the third sector will increasingly become important in shaping the human capital strategy for the island, both today and for the future. We set up Bright Futures about 18 months ago. We officially launched in June last year. For those of you that attended our launch last June at the Coathills, I'm sorry, I'm just going to run over some old ground, but this will give you a flavour, those new to us, who we are and what we're doing. We've got three principal objectives. The first one is to remove financial barriers to those who want to upskill or reskill in readiness for the future of the Guernsey economy. So if you're looking for funding, regardless of what stage in your life you're at, a school leaver perhaps thinking about, do I go to university, do I stay on the island, what are my options and how can I fund that? Or perhaps you're a returner and you've been out of work for a considerable period of time and you're looking for some guidance on where to go, who to speak to and how you're going to pay for that, come and speak to us. Right the way through to people who have been made redundant, unfortunately, through to people who have retired and want to go and do something a little bit more to remain socially or economically active. The second element of what we do is to provide professional impartial careers advice, mapping and mentoring to all age groups. And I'm delighted to announce today we are partnering with Eddie's and Quintillion, who you will hear from later, on digitising a career alternative service for the people of Guernsey. So watch that space, it's going to be hugely exciting. The third element is to raise awareness of the changing face of the workforce and the workplace. So we know that the world of work has changed dramatically and will continue to change. We are outward-looking directors, we're commercially minded business people. We see what's going on in Singapore, in Tel Aviv, San Francisco, London, New York, all over the world. And we've built a fantastic network, some of whom are here today to share some of that expertise with you. We're about joining dots up and allowing you to make friends with those people to help to form your own human capital strategies for the future, whatever that might look like for your particular set of circumstance, your particular organisation, or your particular government department. We're here to help. We're a charitable organisation who care, and that's at the heart of what we do. We care about the future of our economy, it's our home, it's our children's home, and we want it to stay like that for many, many decades to come. And we think by joining hands with everybody in this room, from government to the third sector to private sector organisations, we can achieve so much and really put Guernsey in a fantastic position on the world stage. We absolutely have this at the heart of just about everything we do, everything we think of, how we think, why we think, when we do stuff. It's crucial to any economy, as Yuri Bender outlined recently in his statement that Gavin very kindly reiterated. But the world is changing. The landscape is constantly changing. Traditionally, where we have relied on the strengths of sovereignty, law, regulation, stable taxation, political stability, no longer suffices. We've got to do something more to really put ourselves out there. And that's the important bit that Bright Futures bring to the table. We are outward looking. We can see what's going on in competing jurisdictions, and we're trying to, in a very specific space, in the human capital space, bring to life some of that knowledge and share it with you. So you can take it, you can do with it as you wish, but at least you know. At least you can see what's on the horizon, what some of our competing jurisdictions are doing on and increasingly offshore. Globalization speaks for itself, increasing competition, technological advancement, rivalry, the cost of doing business on a small island such as Guernsey means that the bailiwick must increasingly compete in skills, quality, and innovation to demonstrate its value proposition and competitive advantage. And we're here to help with that. Our board is made up of incredible people who all care about the future of this island. And if you want to come and speak to some of us about what we're trying to do and how we can help you, our doors are firmly open. Please do so. And I would go one step further to say, if we haven't yet engaged with you, please come and speak to us. We're here to help. The jobs landscape is changing dramatically. It's no secret that our island has suffered with a shortage of skills in a variety of areas for decades. It goes with the territory of living on a small island. But we think our research will determine this in months to come. But we think the situation is likely to get considerably worse as technological advancements continue. And here is just a snapshot of some of the research that's out there. And indeed, we'll hear from colleagues from the OECD later as to what some of their findings are, as to where some of those skills gaps are. To say we're suffering with a digital skills shortage on the island, it is not specific enough for us. We want to really dig deep to understand where are those specific skills gaps and how can we use some of our funding strategies to help you to fill those gaps, whether that's through co-funding of programs that are not currently available on the island or are available on the island, but people just can't afford to access them. Or indeed, if it's a completely different style of learning, which I'll come on to in just a moment. But again, we're here to help. This, of course, is all at a time where the cost of labour is increasing and the cost of technology is decreasing, which presents a whole set of new risks in their own right. We must remember what other jurisdictions are doing and how they're using a variety of technological tools to enhance life, work, and society. This is just one example. I'm capped on time, so I've cherry-picked a couple of examples to share with you of just how technology and marketing, for example, has radically disrupted the industry. And this is likely to continue. I was chatting to some colleagues at the Oxford Business School very recently who were sharing with me the pace of change and how dramatic it is, and how marketing managers are no longer speaking to fellow marketing managers, but it's deep data talking to deep data about what's the next strategy going to look like and how can organizations take advantage of that. Another example is how technology is disrupting financial services, in particular banking and insurance. Those are the two examples I'm sharing with you today. There are more. And some of the research, as you can see from the screen, is compelling. Change is on the horizon. The changing face of learning. I've learnt over the past 18 months just how easy it is to learn. Everybody has a smartphone. Organisations, countries, continents are using those smartphones to enable people to have an education, which is online, accessible to just about everybody, cost-effective and time-effective. The quality of some of these learning providers is fantastic. It's a completely new step change, and we'll hear from our colleagues at Amazon as to what they're doing in this space this afternoon. The future of work is now. I would start, please, by inviting you to ask yourself two key questions. How confident are you that your current skill set will last you throughout the end of your working life? And my second question is, how confident do you feel advising your colleagues, or perhaps even your children, on what and how they should be studying so that they will have a long and fulfilled career? Or should I say, careers? And if there are gaps in your knowledge, or you're lacking that thought leadership on how to go about answering that question, then come and speak to us, because we're here to help answer some of these really difficult questions. We have lots of questions. Some more. Do we have the skills required in the future workplace to compete on that global stage? And if we don't, how can we help you to reach that potential? To maximise that untapped potential on the island, whether it's people who have been unemployed for a significant period of time, perhaps people who have suffered with a mental health issue and are now ready to re-enter the world of work, returning mums, people who've retired but don't want to give up yet. They've still got huge amounts to give, not least in tacit knowledge. There are many, many pockets of human capital on this island that we could indeed tap into, and we're here to help explore what that might look like and work with partners in the community to bring that to life. We're about bridging the gaps, empowering the people of Guernsey with 21st century skills. We'll work with you, with your boards, with your department heads, with the HR community, to better understand your organisational needs, the challenges that you face and how we, as a charitable organisation with a huge network, can help to bridge some of that thinking. There is a tidal wave heading our way, and that is for sure. Take Brexit out of the equation. I haven't got time for that today, I'm afraid. But the global warming of technology means that the level of technological and digital expertise is rising, and without it, we quite frankly drown. We need to keep a pace. Our immediate plan to analyse the human capital gaps and produce a forward-looking human capital analysis report. This is going to take place later this year with some of our partners who are here today, and we'd be delighted to share that with you. Of course, we need your input to that. Please be open, honest, give us some time to understand what those challenges are that you're facing. Be open and honest about what your strategies are looking like over the next 3 to 5 years. Is it looking for growth? Is it looking for downsize? Is it looking at automation? And what is the impact on the headcount of your organisation in that respect? We can help you reconstruct, destruct, reconstruct people in new higher value roles. But we need some input from you, please. We're also delighted to announce mid-career skills MOTs. People like me, who left school a few years ago, and perhaps don't have the latest technological skills, and need a bit of a wake-up call as to this is what the future of work is likely to look like, and proactively engage in where those skills gaps are going to look like. I will need to improve, as will probably most people in this room, the degree of digital literacy that we have. Technology is not going to be exclusively for the people who sit in the IT department fixing the computers. If you work in HR, marketing, or if you're a non-executive director or a leader of an organisation, we are all going to need to upskill in that space, and we're here to help make that happen. It's time for change. One of the things that we've come to learn, and indeed we'll hear from our colleagues at the National Centre for Universities and Business, of which Bright Futures are delighted to be a member, is that there seems to have been an academic drift over the past few years. A drift which is disappointing employers with the young people that are entering the world of work today. The young people are going through the education system and trying their hardest to come out with the best that they can possibly bring. Yet when they enter the world of work, employers are increasingly disappointed with what they're getting. We need to bridge that gap. We can help to do that. And on that note, we're delighted to announce 3 programmes starting from September in collaboration with some of our local learning providers, the College of Further Education and others on the island. The first one is going to be the Young Professionals programme. In old language, this would be preparing for the world of work, but with lots of bells. The second one is going to be the Bright Minds programme. This is for young people who choose not to go and enter the corporate environment, but want to have a go at setting something up themselves. So it's about sharing with people the entrepreneurial skills of what it takes to be a member of the gig economy, a consultant, an entrepreneur, a self-employed person, something that's not currently on offer on the island. The third programme really in some way addressing some of the outputs of the PwC, the excellent PwC event that was held here last Thursday, is a returners programme. And we're delighted to be working with a number of people in the room today on what that will look like and how that's going to be modularised and appealing to enable more women or return to work dads to enter the world of work. We've been busy meeting 1 or 2 people from around the world as part of our growing network, and this will continue because we believe that the best economic growth strategy lies with you, the people on this island. We have one thing in common, and that is we love Guernsey, and those of you from Jersey, I'm sure you love Jersey. The door's open. And we all care about our islands, and we're all, in many respects, facing the same sorts of challenges. Collaboration, ongoing cooperation, and a more collegiate approach to achieving some of these big challenges on the horizon will, I think, position us all in a much stronger position for the future. We're here to help. Please come and engage with us. We're here to help. Dates for your diaries. Sorry about this, everybody. We've got some of the people who weren't able to come today, we've bumped them onto the conference next year, or we've locked them into future dates to hold future events. So we've got a Dyson workshop talking about change, strategic change, and agile working on the 14th of March. Please take pictures of this, tweet it, use your phones as much as you like, just please keep them on silent. But we want the world to know about what we're doing and what we're going to be doing. We've got our annual dinner with Professor Andrew Scott. We haven't mentioned this up until today because we didn't want to detract from the conference, but Andrew Scott produced something called the 100-Year Life Book. This is about recognising that longevity presents opportunities and threats to every community around the world. There are social and serious economic implications of longevity, which we need to start talking about quite seriously. So Andrew's going to come to Guernsey, which is amazing, and he is going to share with us some of his insights. Andrew, you can Google him, advises the Japanese government and the German government on some of their longevity and demographic issues, and we're delighted to welcome him to Guernsey. We also have Baroness Wolfe coming to the island in September, who will talk about some of the work that she's currently doing with the UK government. You may remember the name. She was the author of the Wolfe Review for the UK government, which explored how we need to perhaps re-examine our education system to include much more vocational focused programmes as opposed to just academic programmes. We've got Sky coming over in September, and then we've got this event next year. Lock the date in for your diaries on the 12th of March 2020. My invitation to you on behalf of the directors of Bright Futures is we're here to help. We want to work with you to better understand how we can help you. So please engage with us. I'll be around for most of the day, and if I'm not, I'll be asleep somewhere. Didn't have much sleep last night. So please engage with us. And also please use our hashtag throughout any social media you use today. And thank you very much for coming. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.